Hello again. I wanted to talk today about the four suits. I don't really use the four suits that much. So in other words, all the aces mean the same thing. All the fives mean the same thing. The kings, things like this, regardless of the suit. I do define each suit, each card separately in Essential Tarot. So there's 78 definitions for 78 different cards. And I do try to keep the suit in there as far as a variance between swords and cups and things like this, just like other books will do. Radical Tarot, I combined them. So Radical Tarot has, for example here, all the tens are combined, whether it's wands, cup, pentacles, or whatever. And then over here I have one card in the center with keywords mapped around it, implying that the tens mean these things. But Radical Tarot, that's hence the title. And that's the way I read, and that's the way I teach. And it works out fine. I've done it professionally for many years. And it works. But I wanted to go over the suits because they can have meaning, and obviously people use it with meaning. And so how I see the four suits is the same as, I see them as personality types. There's a book, and I just had somebody talking about this book. There's a book called Please Understand Me. This is Please Understand Me 2 because they revised it. It's an older book by David Kershey, and it deals with temperament and personality types. And there's a test in here to see what kind of personality type you are. And there's 4 different personality types. 4 basic personality types. Each one of those 4 has 4 variables as far as detail goes. But if you just look at the 4 basics of the personality types that are out there, you can see how they relate to the meanings and the energy of the tarot suits very well. It's almost like they were custom made for it. And in my first book, Genius of the Tarot, I used that in the meanings. So at the start of each suit, I have the energy from each personality type and how they relate with the 4 suits. And I think that that could become very helpful. And if you look, like we have, if I look at the suit of pentacles, I see people who are, pentacles are very traditional type people, where a wand is more radical, adventurous type of person. And a cup person is more of a feeling, intuitive, very loving, or showing a lot of care to people, where a sword is more rational and logic thinking. And that's in these 4 temperament types of personality. They're called, the 4 types in the book, Please Understand Me, are called the artisan, the guardian, the idealist, and the rational. And the guardian is the pentacle. If you look into what that type of person is, it's a pentacle. And they have these headings, 5 common elements that are looked at with each suit. And those are being, trusting, yearning, seeking, and prizing what these suits value, or these personality types value, in those 5 elements. And a pentacle person values being concerned, They take a lot of concern about issues that are going on with them as well as other people. They get involved if that person is close to them. They're concerned about society. They're concerned about current events. They have a sense of concern. They value trusting authority. So they're being concerned, trusting authority. They believe in authority, law, and which is good. But any authority. That means church and work and things like this. They yearn for belonging. So they trust being, they being concerned, trusting authority, yearning for belonging. They want to be a part of things. Pentacles make good politicians. They want to be a part of society. They belong to churches. Maybe they're members of the PTA. Maybe they get involved with certain groups, clubs, things like this. They want to be a part of the group. And they seek security. So usually Pentacles type people will have homes, search for a steady job, bank account. They're very conscious about security. And they prize gratitude. They give gratitude. And they also like to receive it when it's due. When it's due. So they value being concerned, trusting authority, yearning for belonging, seeking security, and prizing gratitude. That's the Pentacles in my book. And that's the guardian, and please understand. And again, like this book will show you what kind of personality you are too. So that's Pentacles. Wands, on the other hand, are almost the opposite of that. Wands value being excited, where Pentacles value being concerned. Wands value being excited. And they trust impact, or they trust impulse, impulse. They trust impulse, where Pentacles trust authority. Wands are very impulsive. Live for the moment right now. And they yearn for impact. Where Pentacles yearn for belonging, Wands yearn for making an impact on something. So Wands prize, when they walk into a room, you'll know they're there. And they seek stimulation, where Pentacles seek security, Wands seek stimulation. And they prize generosity. If they're generous to you, they feel that they're giving you something of value, and they expect generosity back to them. Wands are the artisan, and please understand me. They're very adventurous type people, and they live for the moment. Where Pentacles are more conservative and stable. Wands are all over. They're like a roller coaster ride. As far as people go, a lot of people would like to go out with a wand just for the excitement, but they'd rather settle down with a pentacle. That's a stereotype there. Swords are considered, obviously, the mind. And they're the rationals in the Please Understand Me book, rational thinkers. And they value being calm. Wands value being excited. Pentacles value being concerned. Swords value being calm. They keep their head. They're cool on things. They're thinking instead of panicking, getting excited about it. They trust reason. Pentacles trust authority. Wands trust impulse. Swords trust reason. And they yearn for achievement. Where Pentacles yearn for belonging, Wands yearn for impact. Swords trust or yearn for achievement, and they seek knowledge. So if they're really involved with something, they want to know all about it. Anything in their world that they come across, they want to know how it works. They're very analytical. And they prize deference. Elders and knowledgeable people, superior, higher up in rank, they appreciate what this person has to offer them, or what that higher up knowledge or situation has to offer them. They respect that, and they prize it. Now, cups are called the idealist, and please understand me. Cups are very heart people, the idealist heart, and they value being enthusiastic. If you're going to motivate a cup, they have to really be inspired about what they're doing. They got to feel it. And they trust intuition, where the swords will trust reason and logic. The cups will use their gut feeling on things. They got to go with that. They yearn for romance. So the cups are the ones who are always looking for the soulmate, that perfect mate. That's what they yearn for. And they seek identity. So instead of seeking security like the pentacles, they seek identity. Who am I? I'm more than just a name. Who am I? And they prize recognition. They prize recognition more than other things like success. They want to be recognized for what they are and who they are. So if you're doing a reading, and it's nice to know the personality types, just the 4 basic parts of it. These 4 that I'm going over. The artisan or wands, the guardian, the pentacles, the idealist, the cups, and the rational, the swords. And if you read about them out of that book, you'll see how they can relate to the tarot, the suits of the tarot very nicely. And I do that with my book, like I say, Genius of the Tarot. For each suit, I have that in the beginning. And also I have the personification from the Wizard of Oz, because the 4 characters in the Wizard of Oz also relate to these 4 personality types. And I think they also relate to the 4 suits. We have the swords are thinking, the scarecrow wanted a brain, cups are feeling, Tin Man wanted a heart, Cowardly Lion wanted courage, excitement, impact. I see that as the wands wanting to have that type of a ability about himself, the adventurer. And Pentacles was Dorothy, the real world, wanted to get back home to Kansas, seeking security and a sense of belonging, wanted to get back home. So those four characters, and that's also in my book, Genius of the Tarot. So if you're reading somebody and they just went out, let's say you're reading a woman and she just went out on a date with a guy, and she wants to know about this guy, first date. And if you ask them, well, I do this, I'll ask them, well, where'd you go? What'd you do? Well, that can tell you a lot right there. And if she says, well, he took me to the movies, we saw a show, and we had dinner afterwards. And if she's telling you a little bit about the date, you might ask her, did he walk you to your door afterwards at night, and did he kiss you goodnight? And if she says yes, that's a very typical date, a very typical way of a lot of people would take a first date. And that's probably a pentacle type personality. Very traditional, and the way most people do it. If he took you to a coffee house and just talked with you, have a cup of coffee somewhere, a quiet place where you're just talking, that's more like a cup person, the romantic, wanting to know about you, wanting to tell you about him. Where the pentacle will sit in a movie house, you're not talking to each other, you're watching a movie. Yeah, you're talking during dinner, but you're not really getting to know each other. You might even, well, there could be a lot more interaction about who we are with that type of an interest. An artisan might want to go to your house with a bottle of wine, sit on the couch and talk in a more private place. And a sword might want to take you to a convention or some big public place where there's some big thing going on, computer convention or some other type of thing where there's a lot to look at, and about some specific thing that he's involved with. These are telltale patterns. There's a lot of them. But these give you an idea about the person you're looking into. So these 4 personality types, I think, will help you a lot, knowing the regards to the suits. At least they help me. And so please understand me might be a book you might want to get. The personality test there for yourself or for anybody else is 70 questions. And you might get a kick out of that to find out who you are too. It's an older book, so I think the first question is, if the phone rings, would you go to get the phone, or would you hope somebody else picks it up? And now we have cell phones, so we don't really need that kind of thing. But overall, you're going to get an idea who you are, and it's fun to do. So understanding the suits in that way can be helpful, and it's helped me. And if you like that idea, like I said, I have a lot of that in Genius of the Tarot. Not in my other books. So thanks for watching. If you like this, subscribe and keep throwing cards. We'll talk soon.